Sprouty, buy it. I can't teach him how to steer. I haven't figured that out. Sprouty, can you say hi to everyone? Say hi. Say hi. Good boy. Once I started it, I was thinking like, oh my God, maybe someday we'll have 10,000 followers, but I had no expectation of it taking off like this.
In April and May, Bert made more money than I did. It's a strange thing. It's very 2019. I never would have thought that I would have such a wonderful dog and then that somebody would pay me to post some photos of him.
So people don't realize how much work goes into this. They see these photos and videos on Instagram, they're like, oh my God, that's so cute. They took a quick photo of their pet and they threw it up. But in actuality, it takes a lot of effort and it's a hard thing to do, but once you get to that level, it's kind of the best job ever. The amounts the influencers make depends mainly on their following, their engagement, and how often they're creating content. So the influencers that are in the millions of followers are getting around 15,000 per piece of sponsored content. And then the ones that are around 100,000 followers are in the $1,000 to $2,000 range per piece. Any animal technically can become Insta-famous. That said, there's always something special and unique about that pet that has allowed them to rise above. Come on here. Come on!
I'm Sigrid, and this is Sprout, otherwise known as Brussels Sprout. He's a 3-year-old Brussels Griffon.
I'm Kathy. This is Birdie, Bertram, Bert. We're at my gallery, it's called The Hole. I run an art gallery on the Bowery in New York City. I would post an occasional photo of him on my gallery's Instagram, and he'd get more likes than the artworks, and I guess at some point I realized he had to have his own space to be himself. I take a ton of photos of him. There's got to be somewhere to stick them.
Someone's looking to start, I think figuring out that brand is probably one of the first things you want to do.
I think it's very important with account to have some sort of aesthetic or brand. Sprouts is a little bit, if we play up Pouty Sprouty, he's got an underbite, so he's got a little bit of a grumpy look even when he's pretty happy. So that's sort of a really easy way for us to create content that is relatable to people because he kind of looks like a little person.
If your dog has a certain unique thing about it, go with that. Are they an adventure dog? Are they like really into balls? Or do they have like a cute, specific face that they make? The hook is that people think he looks like a bear. And so whenever there's like a especially bear-like photo, that's it. So like sleeping in the cart, they're like, a bear is loose in the supermarket.
Posting cadence is really all over the place. It depends on the account. We have clients that post once a week, which is on the low end. We have clients that post 3 times a day, which is on the high end. So all of a sudden, if you go from posting once a week and people are expecting to see you like around once a week, and then all of a sudden you start posting 15 times a day, people are gonna kind of feel overwhelmed and be like, oh, what's happening? This is weird. So just staying consistent with what you're doing is very important.
Engaging with other accounts. So like the first thing I did on Bert's Instagram was I tried to find 7,500 Pomeranians to follow and to like their photos and comment on their photos.
Engaging in other influencers' posts so your comments are visible is important. So just being a part of the community, attending things like PetCon is a great way to get exposure.
I think it's really important for the account to focus on authenticity, and your dog's personality and happiness is only going to come through if they're actually happy with what you're doing. I think to some degree, if you try too hard, it becomes inauthentic, and what people really gravitate to in our account and other accounts is sort of having an authentic content and sort of really seeing the dog's personality and your great relationship with the dog.
Whenever I like put him somewhere, it's not a good photo. Like if he runs into the mulch and starts kicking mulch and sits in the daffodils, that's a great photo. If I pick him up and brush his hair and stick him just so with the flowers, it doesn't look good. You gotta capture him being him.
That's something that's very important. Some pets love to have their photo taken, they love to create content, they love to get dressed up, but others don't. And if your pet doesn't like it, then don't force it, because it needs to be fun for both of you at the end of the day.
So we are going to an office supply store down the street, and I'm gonna try to get a picture of Sprout back to school shopping. I bought him some little mini school supplies for his shopping cart, so he's all set. And then we were practicing the other night. He can pick up a tiny little notebook and put it in his shopping cart. He's ready. Can you buy it? Good boy. Sometimes I'll have ideas that have just been brewing for a long while. Sometimes it'll pop in my head immediately and I'll try to shoot it. Sometimes I'll just take a picture because he looks cute with whatever he's doing, and then I figure out a caption later on. I have no photography background. I've enjoyed trying to learn how to use my camera. I could definitely get better at it. I think I can work with it. I'm not so good at guessing the lighting, but I think with a little editing we've got some good shots. I like the side ones better. I think you did a good time. You got a lot of treats. We're gonna go play with his ball now. Now it's back to being a regular old dog. What people see on his account is probably 3% of his life. The rest of his time is spent napping, playing fetch, going on walks, like having a happy, normal little dog life. I wish I had some magic formula as to how his account grew. It just sort of grew at a relatively steady clip of around like 1,000 followers a week the first year.
You know, nobody can figure out how to make something go viral. It's like a magic sauce and nobody knows the ingredients. And that's why there's something magic about it, is that you can't fake it. It's very gratifying to hear from people around the world that Bert makes them smile. It boggles the mind, just the scale of it. Like, you can't really comprehend that there's a dude in Bangkok who is showing his sister photos of Bert every morning to cheer her up because she has finals. Different stories, different people from all different walks of life all over the world sharing little personal tidbits of how Bert cheered them up.
It's not really about the money for us. I care more about interacting with our followers and feeling like we have this awesome platform to help make people smile. Look, it's fun. I mean, I feel like the world is a heavy place, so if following a dog makes you happier, I follow many dogs and it makes me smile. It's enjoyable, and I think creating our account for so long as Sprout feels happy doing it, it's really fun. It's fun to get to make people laugh.
As long as Bert doesn't mind, I don't mind doing it. What do you think?